No matter what kind of videos you make, you need a good tripod to stabilize your content. So today we're breaking down 7 different tripods from SmallRig that are all different price points, as cheap as like $26, a little smartphone tripod, all the way up to a pro level tripod that literally sets itself up in a matter of like 2 seconds. Check this out. Look at that. This thing is so cool. We'll get to this one in just a minute, but let's start off with the most budget tripod on our list today. So for most creators, you'll probably want to start with a basic smartphone style tripod like this one from SmallRig. This is only a $26 tripod to get started and actually comes with a few pretty good accessories. But in terms of the tripod itself, it has this pretty common like inverted leg design where the legs actually fold on top, like almost to the top of the tripod, and then you bring them down just like this. So this is actually the base of the tripod right here. Extends like that, and then there's a center column with 3 different locking levers that you can extend to different heights. So the max height on this smartphone tripod is going to be about 67 inches tall, and then you can mount the included accessories that come with this tripod. There is a dedicated smartphone holder that has a little cold shoe port up top, so you can mount different accessories like microphones or lights to your smartphone, and then also has a little tiltable adapter that you can add on top of the tripod as well. And you can, in theory, actually mount other types of cameras. Typically lightweight cameras like point and shoot cameras are really lightweight. Maybe APS-C style cameras would work for this tripod, but you won't want to go much heavier than that for this specific tripod. There's a nice 1/4 inch screw that you can mount either of these two, and then you just pop in your smartphone and you're ready to start recording videos. It does have some nice rubber feet on the bottom, which I like for recording indoors on slicker surfaces. You're not gonna have your tripod move all over the place. And overall, a great starter option for only $26. Now this next tripod is super tiny. It's this little tabletop style tripod from SmallRig. It's called their VT20, and it's about a $50 or $60 mini tabletop tripod. And when I first got this, I was like, am I really gonna use this too often? But now that I actually have it, I've had it for over a year now, I actually use this thing all the time when I'm recording in my YouTube studio, when I don't wanna have to set up a full-fledged tripod that sits on the floor and takes up a lot of room. This can actually just mount directly to your desk, and you can set up talking head style videos or even record B-roll just by popping this right on your desk. Now, even though this tripod is so tiny, the legs actually do extend a little bit if you need to get some more height out of your desktop setup. So you just twist the bottom of the legs and all of the legs pull out really quickly. Now you can see it's actually a couple feet tall, which is great if the desk that you're recording at doesn't have a height adjustment. It's not like a sit-stand desk, and you need a little bit of variance to your height if you're recording at your desktop. It's nice that these legs extend about a foot or so. The build quality of this is also really good. You're not gonna have any issues mounting even heavier setups with this little tabletop tripod. I've actually mounted like a full-on mirrorless camera with an Elgato prompter mounted to the front of this. And yeah, it probably tests its weight limit a little bit, but I had no issues, and it was kind of fun to try a little tabletop setup with a teleprompter, all built on this tiny little mini tripod. It's certainly a more specialty tool that not all creators will have a use case for, but I've been surprised since I added it to my kit about a year ago. It typically works its way into my workflow about once or twice a month for specific use cases, so something you might want to check out. It's only about 50 or 60 bucks to pick one of these up. Now, if you're ready to step up to a more full-size tripod, SmallRig makes this guy right here that's only $70, and it's a 70-inch tripod that's great for both stills photography and video work, especially if you shoot more stationary talking head style videos, just like I'm doing right now. It's a very similar design to that first style of tripod that we showed you, where the legs are inverted and you kind of swing the legs out to set up the tripod, and then the center column raises up and down to add some different heights. And then it has those locking leg mechanisms at the bottom that you unlock to position your tripod at the appropriate height. Now for this one, you'll definitely notice that it's a little bit heavier and designed to be used with heavier cameras. It's gonna support larger cameras, up to 13 pounds actually, which is pretty impressive for only a $70 tripod. Now, a cool thing about this tripod is it actually has a monopod built into it. So this leg right here actually unscrews. And now that this leg detaches, it's actually a single leg that you could run around with for monopod work. If you want just a really stable, quick shot, but don't want to set up a full-on tripod, this monopod is great. And the ball head also unscrews from the top of the tripod. So now I can mount that directly to this monopod, and I have a very lightweight kit. So you kind of get 2 items in one. You get this monopod for quicker on-the-go shots, or you can have a full-on tripod setup, whatever you prefer. And this tripod also comes with a smartphone adapter, so you can also use it with smartphones, not just cameras. And it came with an extra tripod plate, which is cool. I believe it's the only tripod in this entire list that came with 2 tripod plates, so an added bonus there. but actually every other tripod on this list does also come with a smartphone holder. So super cool, SmallRig is including this for people because we know you don't want multiple tripods, you want to just grab one system and use it for both smartphone and camera use cases, and SmallRig adds those smartphone holders to each one of these kits. Now, if you're specifically a video creator, this is the first tripod on the list that I think is more designed with video creators in mind because it features a nice fluid head system to get really smooth pans and tilts if you want more cinematic looking video shots. This is the SmallRig CT210 and it's a 75-inch video tripod, and that 75 inches is actually really important if you want to record anybody. If yourself or your talent is over 6 feet tall, 6'2", you're definitely going to want a taller tripod like this one provides. And again, what makes this more of a video tripod is this fluid head that's right here, so you can perform nice pans and tilts for your videos. Now, because this is a cheaper option, it doesn't have the option to like add tension, or like if you want some more resistance out of your panning or your tilting, it doesn't have that. It's just one set speed, but it is a really nice smooth speed. So for most people, it's gonna work just fine. But something you wanna be aware of, more customizable fluid heads, you have to pay a little bit more money for, but this one is still relatively affordable at only $140. It is quite a bit heavier than the rest of the tripods we've talked about so far, but that increased weight and size is gonna allow you the flexibility to work with bigger camera packages and just get smoother video shots overall. This does use that pretty standard locking mechanism where you unlock a leg and you collapse that section of the legs, lock it in place, and there's 3 of these that you have to do this for, so it is a little bit slow, but some of the other tripods we have on this list are crazy with how quickly you can get them set up. And the first one of those tripods is right here. It's the SmallRig FreeSpeed FTS 303. Man, these names are just so hard to remember sometimes. And in a lot of ways, this tripod is very similar to the last one we just talked about, but it's lighter weight because it's carbon fiber, and it's actually a lot better to hold. That last one was aluminum, so it got really cold on my hands because it's actually kind of cold out here in my backyard in Oregon. But this carbon fiber one feels a lot better. So it's gonna be a little bit lighter weight to feel. It just feels betterly evenly distributed. Like the weight kind of feels more like towards the head and the legs are a lot lighter. I do believe this is the same tripod head. I'm examining both of them here and they seem like exactly the same tripod head. So effectively you'll get the same performance out of the smoothness. But where this system earns the name FreeSpeed is the way they've designed this interesting double locking twisting mechanism right here. It's so much faster than the rest of the tripods we've talked about so far. And in just one quick twist, I can unlock both of the legs. The bottom one just quickly comes out and so does the top one. And it's probably easier to demonstrate as I show you some of this B-roll. Like I can actually unlock all of the legs really quickly and pivot the height up and down in just a matter of a couple seconds, and then using one hand, lock both of those levers at the exact same time because of the way they're positioned right next to each other, and adjust both leg columns simultaneously. Now, max height on this tripod is only about 59 inches, so it's not gonna be as tall for shooting standing scenes if your subjects are really tall. I'm about 5 feet 9 inches tall and I can make this work totally fine for standing scenes, but something you should be aware of. Now, price point for this is about $240, and all things considered, for the quality of tripod you're getting with the carbon fiber legs and the unique locking system for the legs that help you set this tripod up so much quicker than some of the other tripods, I think it's a worthwhile investment, and honestly one of my favorite tripods that we're showcasing today out of this entire list. Now, if you want to save even more time, let me introduce you to SmallRig's Tribex system. This system is insane. Like, I actually can't believe there's tripods out there that exist that perform as quickly as the Tribex system. This is the more affordable one though. This is the Tribex SE, and it comes in at only $400. To get like a dang near professional level tripod that sets itself up in like seconds, I gotta just demonstrate this. I mean, look at this. This tripod is completely collapsed. And in like 1 second, I click this little clutch handle right here, all the legs deploy instantly, and boom, we're set up. Hands free, this is ready to rock. Like, what? So as I said, this little handle right here is called a clutch, and it actually releases the legs and lets them deploy using sort of like a hydraulic system, and instantly you're able to deploy the legs and level your setup in a matter of seconds. So long as you're depressing this handle, you can raise and lower the tripod pretty smoothly and level your tripod faster than any system I've literally ever used in my entire life. For when you're traveling, you can actually click this red button to change the orientation that the handle is positioned, and then it'll click right into place if you want to store it vertically for travel. And then same thing with the clutch handle, actually. There's this little black dial that you can twist, and then it locks the clutch in place so you don't accidentally deploy the legs unnecessarily. Now the Tribex SE is not carbon fiber, it's actually an aluminum build, but they've actually wrapped the whole first section of the legs with this nice wrap, which makes it a lot easier to hold and manipulate in colder environments, but you're not gonna get those carbon fiber legs out of the SE version. Now again, with this fluid head, it's gonna be a very similar design to the last two tripods, if not the exact same head on the Tribex SE. Now I do like this fluid head. Again, you're gonna get great results, but it is missing some of those higher end features that more premium tripod heads would have, like a counterbalance system or some tension that you can add to your panning and tilting. The Tribex SE does not have those. Overall though, I think this is a fantastic option for both pros and beginners alike. I feel like to me, it's kind of like a buy once, cry once situation. Like, yeah, it's a lot of money. It's 400 bucks to spend on a tripod, but really you're gonna be able to use this thing for years to come. But then if you wanna go all the way up to their Tribex Carbon 2 model, this is gonna get you a lot of higher end features, but still has that same really cool Tribex system where the legs just deploy like in an instant, and now, boom, now my tripod's set up. Like, I can just never get over that. The Carbon 2, as the name suggests, will give you those carbon fiber legs, which are just gonna feel a little bit more premium for professional use cases. Also, the feet of this tripod are a little bit different than the SE. The SE just had kind of those rounded rubber feet, which actually were really stable for slicker surfaces. And the feet on the Carbon 2, while I do like them more in terms of design, they're actually a little bit slick on the bottom still. So I can make this tripod slide around on a hardwood surface a little bit easier than I can the SE. It's not really something I worry about too much, but something to be aware of. But the main reason that you would go for the Carbon 2 over the SE is this fluid head right here. This is a big improvement over the rest of the fluid heads in this entire video. It feels way more professional. You have a counterbalance system to properly balance heavier cameras or cinema rigs so that you can perform the best possible moves when operating this camera. There's also some tension that you can add to the both pan and the tilt axis with these couple dials to really refine what kind of tension you want out of your panning and tilting. I've used a bunch of tripods that are well into the thousands of dollar ranges, and the Tribex Carbon 2 can compete with tripods that cost way more. I think this tripod punches way above its weight class in terms of price. And once you use this clutch system, it's really hard to go back to any other tripod that doesn't have that quick deploying leg system that this one offers. It literally saves me so much time when I'm setting up my videos so I can focus more on my storytelling and my content versus setting up all my tech. A big thanks again to SmallRig for partnering on this video. They have a ton of great tripods from very budget all the way up to the more professional line. So if you want to get yourself a tripod, we'll link all these options down in the description below. Now, if you want to see another video from us here at Think Media, you can click or tap the screen right here to watch that video, and we'll see you in the next one.